Well, we got some exciting news to share with you on some videos for this channel coming up in the near future. Now, our last TV that we purchased, this was pretty much beginning of the summertime. This was our last TV still to this day that we purchased, and that was the TCL QM7 51G, the 2024 edition QM7. Now, we got this TV, and there has been an issue with it since we got it. Now, I wasn't, notified about this issue until, after we were, long gone past our return period with Best Buy. So, the issue, we've noticed this with games like Minecraft, GTA 5, as well as Ghost of Tsushima, Horizon Forbidden West, games that you can honestly see the sky. Now, we have contacted TCL about this issue, and it has taken a minute with all the arguments and all of the, screenshots and all of this, with, showing them what they wanted and showing them the video and such like that. TCL just was a little bit rough, but they finally caught on the issue with this TV. And the exciting news, well, here's what the exciting news is. Even though this is not us buying a TV whatsoever, we are going to be getting a replacement TV, and this is the QM7 that is right behind us. So we are going to be getting a replacement as from the email that was sent by TCL from us just the other day, and we are going to be getting this year's QM7K. So they specify that the QM7 is no longer in stock. They are no longer producing that particular model. So instead, they're going to be giving us the 2025 QM7K. And man, oh man, I'm actually kind of pretty excited about this. Now, TCL has said that we can do whatever we want with this, continue to use this TV, even with that spot of a slightly dim line that you see on some games here and there when you look up at the sky. But we are going to be finally getting a free upgrade to this year's QM7K, and it has some nice upgrades to it, and then some pretty much basically just on par with this. So in pretty much, it's going to be a much better TV than this one. Not by a, large majority, but it's definitely going to be like a 15-20% better than the QM7. And one of the big things that I have noticed if you go to ratings.com and you compare the QM7 with the QM7K is that the QM7K is going to have way better contrast. Like the contrast on the QM7, honestly, it was not nearly as good as our QM8 2023 edition TCL, which is their flagship for 2023, and definitely was not as good as the Hisense U8H, which is honestly the best LED TV that we currently have with the best contrast ever. But once we get the TCL QM7K, that one's going to be the better, black levels, contrast ratio of any LED TV that we've have ever had. And because of this, now this is actually giving you guys another video, another TV review to pretty much for you guys to look forward to. So we're not, spinning anything about it. TCL finally, after, doing some arguments and constantly doing whatever, they finally caught on with the issue with our QM7 and specify in the email they sent us that we are going to be getting the 2025 QM7K. So I'm definitely excited to review this TV when we get it in the next, probably 1 or 2 weeks from now. Don't know when we will get it, but they said it will most likely take around 7 to 10 business days for, the stuff to get processed, and then probably another few days to a week or something for them to actually deliver us to the TV. Now, we've also been thinking about possibly getting rid of a couple of our older LED TVs, like our Vizio P-Series Quantum and our Sony X90K, even though the X90K, I think, is still a fabulous TV. and possibly getting a couple more OLEDs, because OLEDs have just been some of the best, if not strictly the best TVs out there in terms of contrast, clarity, gaming performance, and just overall colorful picture, and just overall better experience. Now, that's not to say that LED TVs are not great whatsoever, because like I was saying, this year, this TCL QM7K that we're currently getting is supposed to be the best, LED TV with the best contrast ratio that's going to be almost as good as an OLED. Not really technically as good as an OLED, clearly not. OLED still going to be superior, but it's going to be very, very close in terms of contrast that we have ever seen on an LED TV, and that's definitely going to be almost like 50% more from our Hisense U8H, and that TV was fantastic on contrast. Supposed to be incredibly good, especially for value and performance ratio that you get. But in 2026, this is actually what we are actually thinking about doing. Now, we haven't decided on whether or if not we were going to do it, but what I think we are going to do is we might actually get rid of our Vizio P-Series Quantum, and then as well as our Sony X90K, and then after we get rid of those, we'll get to extra OLEDs. And the OLEDs that we're thinking about getting is, you already know which one of them is going to be, and if you guessed it, yes, it's going to be the Samsung S90F QD OLED, because Samsung has been having some of the best QD OLEDs just ever. We technically got 4 of them right now, and we're technically using one as our gaming room right now, and that's our first ever one. But another reason why we might get another one is because our S95B is pretty much like, it's a little bit of a bent panel, but that's just how it was with pretty much the first bit of QD OLEDs in general from Samsung, like the S95B. It was just been reported that that particular model did have a lot of not very straight TVs, even though our S95B still works like new, but it is definitely a little bit bent on one side, and it's been like that since we've had it, and sometimes it just really distracts us. So we're going to possibly get another one for pretty much if we want to use a newer one and whatnot, and just have some backup of, whatnot. And we might even use this one pretty much in our bedroom and have the newest one in our gaming room that's supposed to be better. But the other OLED that we're thinking about getting now, it is going to be an LG, because LG is the other one I buy. But if you're wondering, we was originally thinking about the B5. Well, we may actually backtrack on that, and we've heard good things about the C5 this year, and the C5 is actually supposed to be a bit more colorful for gaming than any of the other previous LG OLEDs, like the C4, C3, and right now we have a C3 downstairs alongside with our two B4s, but we're currently using the C3 in our living room at this very moment. But we're going to possibly look at probably getting the C5. And personally, I'm actually really stoked, and I've heard that it's brighter and it's really good, even though you still lose some brightness and some saturation in game optimizer mode, but it's actually supposed to be better than the older C models, including like our C3 and then the current old one, our C1. And personally, I just think OLED has been really good. Now, LEDs have been really catching up, doing great with contrast, brightness, and all that, having almost just as good as clarity, even though OLED is still the be-all, end-all. That's another reason why we're thinking about doing this. So, with that out of its way, then you could look at possibly getting two newer TVs in the first half of 2026. And we probably, if we do this, we're probably not going to get these until sometime after, like February, after tax time, because that's when we get our money back of what we've, filing our taxes and whatnot. If you're not somebody that owns a home, and not to say that people don't, not everybody does, but we're going to get some money back with our tax return, and I think that's when we're going to start. Now, as for the TV that we're thinking about doing first, well, we're probably thinking about doing this Samsung S90F first, and then probably the LG C5 later. And then this is what's nice with progressive leasing, is the fact that we can just get it on a lease and then just make payments within 3 to 4 months, and we can have it paid off in that amount of time frame. And then that's pretty much what we're going to do with the LG C5 just as well. Depending on if we got enough money saved up, we may just buy the C5 straight out. So just depends. But then again, we're going to probably get some money from our Vizio and our Sony. May not be a lot, but it'll definitely be like somewhere around, I'd say, probably a few $100 at most. Not for each of them, but for both of them combined. Like, probably we'll sell them for like $100 for the Vizio, and then probably something like $200 for the Sony, because at the end of the day, the Sony is really old. It just turned 3 years old, early October, I should say. And then our Vizio, that one is definitely 3.5, going to be 4 years old this coming up March. Or 5 years old this coming up March is what I meant to say, 5 years old, because we got the Vizio in 2021. I kind of got mixed up with when we got the Sony and we got the Vizio. So it would make sense that the Vizio would be a little bit less because it is older than the Sony, and then Sony is a bit more of a premium brand and whatnot. So nothing's been said as of right yet, but that's actually what we are thinking about doing. And then with the great news, we got a new TV that we're going to be getting relatively. You can actually look forward to seeing us review. And that is the TCL QM7K, because they do not have any more in stock of the last year QM7 model that we have behind us. So instead, they're just going to ship us a QM7K model instead. So hopefully, I hope you enjoyed the video. If you guys could smack that like button, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and we will be sure to keep you posted with more content going forward, including the unboxing and review video of our upcoming TCL QM7K once that replacement unit gets delivered to us. And you just let us know in the comment section down below if you are looking forward to us reviewing the QM7K, and if you think that it's smart for us to go on ahead and get rid of 2 of our LED TVs and grab a couple more OLEDs, so we have plenty of backup for OLEDs if any of our OLEDs end up, getting burnt in, or just start breaking, or just start getting, worn out over time and just ain't using their full potential anymore. You just let us know in the comment section down below if you think that that's smart, that we should do that, and if you are looking forward to the QM7K once that TV gets delivered from TCL in the next upcoming weeks. So with that being said, thanks for watching Tech and Gaming Reviews. Rate, comment, subscribe, and we will see you on the next one. Peace.